Mr. Brown, you're before the court this morning on count 1, burglary with battery. Count 2, burglary of an unoccupied conveyance, unarmed. Count 3, criminal mischief, $200 under $1,000, first offense.
Antonio Brown has just been hit with a major sentence, and this time, there's no walking away. The former NFL star has been caught up in countless legal issues over the years, from assault charges to probation violations. But this feels different. This feels final. So what finally got him locked up for good? Let's get into it. Antonio Brown's long-awaited legal saga. Antonio Brown is one of the most talented wide receivers the NFL has ever seen, but he is also one of the most controversial figures in the industry. Between his major legal troubles, Brown was involved in several other incidents that, while not resulting in criminal charges, further damaged his reputation and revealed a pattern of erratic behavior. In October 2020, before signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Brown was accused of destroying a surveillance camera and throwing a bicycle at a security guard shack in a gated community in Florida. No criminal charges were filed, but the incident added to the growing perception that Brown was unable to control his impulses and avoid confrontations. In 2022, Brown received a trespass warning from a youth football league, reportedly due to disruptive behavior. Again, while no formal charges were filed, the incident further tarnished his already damaged public image and raised questions about his behavior even in community settings. Perhaps the most infamous incident occurred during a game against the New York Jets in January 2022, when Brown was still a member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In the third quarter, Brown removed his jersey, pads, and undershirt on the sideline and left the field, abandoning his team mid-game in one of the most bizarre scenes in NFL history. Brown later claimed the Buccaneers tried to force him to play through an ankle injury, while coach Bruce Arians disputed this, stating Brown was upset about something else. This highly publicized meltdown effectively ended Brown's NFL career, as he was immediately released by the Buccaneers and has not played in the league since. In the years following his NFL exit, Brown's controversial behavior has continued on social media. He has engaged in public feuds with former teammate Tom Brady. Despite Brady's support during Brown's time with the Patriots and Buccaneers, he has also made offensive posts targeting Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, further alienating himself from the NFL community and mainstream sports culture. Before the most recent scandals, one of the first notable controversies came in 2017, when Brown violated NFL policy by live streaming private team moments on Facebook after a playoff victory against the Kansas City Chiefs. This breach of locker room privacy drew criticism from teammates and coaches alike, raising early questions about Brown's judgment and respect for team protocols. By 2018, the red flags were becoming more apparent. Brown was involved in a bizarre incident where he allegedly threw furniture from his 14th floor apartment in Florida, nearly striking a 22-month-old child below. While this resulted in a civil lawsuit rather than criminal charges, it represented a significant escalation in concerning behavior. The lawsuit was eventually settled in April 2019, but it marked the beginning of a pattern of legal troubles that would soon define Brown's public image. That same year, tensions began to boil over with the Pittsburgh Steelers, the team where Brown had established himself as an elite talent. Before the final week of the 2018 season, Brown was given a rest day, but then missed subsequent practices. He was officially listed as having a knee injury, but reports emerged that he had actually thrown a football at quarterback Ben Roethlisberger during practice and was upset about teammate Juju Smith-Schuster being named team MVP. This led to Brown being inactive for the Steelers' final game of the season and ultimately to a mutual agreement with team owner Art Rooney II to part ways. The fractured relationship with the Steelers would set Brown on a nomadic path through the NFL, with brief and tumultuous stops with the Oakland Raiders, New England Patriots, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Each stint would be shorter and more controversial than the last, as Brown's off-field issues increasingly overshadowed his undeniable talent. After being traded to the Oakland Raiders in March 2019, Brown's behavior became increasingly erratic. Before even playing a regular season game for the team, he managed to create multiple controversies that left fans and analysts bewildered. One of the strangest incidents occurred when Brown suffered frostbite on his feet after failing to wear proper footwear during a cryotherapy session in France. This injury caused him to miss valuable training camp practices with his new team. At the same time, Brown became embroiled in a dispute with the NFL over helmet regulations. He refused to practice with the Raiders due to updated helmet safety rules that banned his preferred model. Reports indicated that that Brown even threatened to retire if he couldn't use his old helmet, creating an unnecessary distraction for a team trying to integrate their new star receiver. The situation deteriorated further when Brown was fined nearly $54,000 by the Raiders for missing team workouts. In response, Brown posted the fine letter on Instagram, publicly expressing his displeasure with the organization. This pattern of airing grievances on social media would become a recurring theme throughout Brown's career, often exacerbating tensions and burning bridges with teams and teammates. The Raiders ultimately released Brown on September 7, 2019, before he played a single regular season game for the team. This unprecedented situation, a star player forcing his way off a team before even suiting up for them, foreshadowed the increasingly chaotic chapter of Brown's career that was about to unfold. Just hours after being released by the Raiders, Brown signed with the New England Patriots, seemingly landing in an ideal situation with the league's most successful franchise. However, his time with the Patriots would be even shorter than his stint with the Raiders. Shortly after signing with New England, Brown was sued by his former personal trainer, Brittany Taylor, who accused him of sexual assault and misconduct. The allegations were serious and created an immediate distraction for the Patriots. Just days later, additional allegations surfaced from another woman who claimed Brown had acted inappropriately towards her. Combined with reports that Brown had sent intimidating text messages to one of his accusers, the Patriots had seen enough. The team released him on September 20th, 2019, after just 11 days with the organization. While no criminal charges were filed in relation to the sexual assault allegations and the civil case was eventually settled privately, the damage to Brown's reputation was significant. He has consistently denied the allegations, but the incidents contributed significantly to his increasingly toxic reputation around the league. In January 2020, Brown's legal troubles escalated significantly when he was involved in an altercation with a moving truck driver, Anton Tumanov, in Florida. This incident would lead to his most serious criminal charges and have lasting financial implications that continue to affect him today. According to court documents, Brown allegedly assaulted Tumanov during a dispute over payment for the delivery of household items to Brown's home. The altercation resulted in charges of felony burglary with battery, a serious offense that carried a potential life sentence. The gravity of this situation was evident during Brown's court appearance, where the proceedings captured the seriousness of the charges.
Mr. Brown, you're before the court this morning on count 1, burglary with battery, count 2, burglary of an unoccupied conveyance, unarmed, count 3, criminal mischief, $200 under $1,000, first offense.
During the same hearing, the prosecutor emphasized the seriousness of the charges and their approach.
As the court is aware, and Mr. Schwartzreich is aware, count 1 is a punishable by life offense.
The court proceedings also revealed additional evidence against Brown, including testimony from Brown's own trainer.
Manuel, which is identified as the trainer and manager of Mr. Brown. Yes, he did. So yesterday I was speaking with him, trying to obviously get the defendant to surrender, knowing that he had the active arrest warrant.
The detective further testified about a particularly damning statement from Brown's trainer.
He said, we're working with him. He's close with me. He'll listen to me. We'll get him to turn himself in. Don't worry about it. We'll get him to turn himself in. He goes, who do you think the one that pulled him off of me anyway? I interpret it as he's the one that pulled Mr. Brown and the other co-defendant in this case off of my victim in this case.
The legal consequences were significant. In June 2020, Brown pleaded no contest to the felony burglary with battery charge and 2 lesser misdemeanor charges. While he avoided jail time, he was sentenced to 2 years of probation, 100 hours of community service, a 13-week anger management program, and a mandatory psychological evaluation. Let us examine Brown's ongoing financial and legal troubles, including his bankruptcy filing, child support disputes, and the current state of his legal affairs as of May 2025. Bankruptcy, child support, and ongoing legal woes. After earning over $80 million during his NFL career, Antonio Brown's financial situation has deteriorated to the point of insolvency. In May 2024, Brown filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court of the Southern District of Florida, marking a stunning reversal of fortune for the former NFL star. The bankruptcy filing revealed the extent of Brown's financial mismanagement. Court documents showed that Brown claimed assets under $50,000 against debts exceeding $3 million. This dramatic imbalance between assets and liabilities raised immediate questions about how someone who had earned so much could have so little to show for it. Among Brown's creditors, the most significant is Anton Timonov, the moving truck driver from the 2020 assault incident, who is owed $1.2 million from the judgment against Brown. This substantial debt stems directly from Brown's failure to appear in court for the civil lawsuit, resulting in a default judgment against him, a pattern of ignoring legal obligations that has exacerbated his troubles. Another notable creditor is jeweler Zul Nantambu, who secured a $123,000 judgment against Brown in March 2023 after Brown allegedly failed to return jewelry. The situation with Nantambu is further complicated by allegations that Brown falsely reported him to Dubai law enforcement for stealing $3 million in jewelry, adding a potential defamation element to their dispute. Brown's other debts include $300,000 to a marketing firm, $170,000 in credit card debt, $170,000 for legal services, and $100,000 in unpaid bills, painting a picture of widespread financial mismanagement across multiple aspects of his life. Brown's bankruptcy proceedings have been far from straightforward, with accusations of dishonesty and non-compliance plaguing the case. In December 2024, the court-appointed trustee accused Brown of failing to disclose assets, including 3 properties transferred before the bankruptcy filing and his ex, formerly Twitter account, and not complying with debtor reporting requirements. The trustee also objected to Brown's proposed repayment plan, citing its infeasibility given Brown's financial situation and history of non-compliance with court orders. These objections highlighted the skepticism with which officers of the court viewed Brown's commitment to addressing his financial obligations honestly and responsibly. The situation deteriorated further in April 2025 when Brown was accused of misleading the court about his health to delay a bankruptcy hearing. His attorney claimed he was unable to attend due to medical issues, but hours later, Brown appeared on Joe Rogan's podcast, seemingly in good health. This apparent contradiction prompted the trustee to request that the case be converted from Chapter 11, reorganization, to Chapter 7, liquidation, or dismissed entirely due to Brown's alleged non-compliance. As of May 2025, the bankruptcy case remains ongoing, with the potential dismissal looming due to Brown's alleged non-compliance with court procedures and requirements. If the case is dismissed without discharge of his debts, Brown would remain fully liable for all his obligations, without the protections that bankruptcy proceedings might have offered. Adding to Brown's legal and financial troubles are his ongoing issues with child support payments. Throughout recent years, Brown has faced multiple arrest warrants for failing to pay child support to the mothers of his children, creating yet another area of legal jeopardy. These issues have been recurrent, with posts on social media documenting his history of non-payment and disputes with the mothers of his children. In 2023, Brown reportedly faced an arrest warrant for owing over $30,000 in child support to Wiltrish Jackson, one of the mothers of his children. The situation escalated publicly in March 2025 when Brown engaged in a heated online exchange with his ex, Sydney Moreau, after she requested financial assistance for rent and their child's needs. Brown responded with explicit and derogatory language, denying her request in a public social media post. This public display not only damaged Brown's already tarnished reputation, but potentially created additional legal exposure if Moreau decides to pursue enforcement of child support through the courts. The recurring nature of these child support issues suggests a pattern of either inability or unwillingness to meet his financial obligations to his children, despite the substantial income he earned during his NFL career. This aspect of Brown's legal troubles is particularly damaging to his public image, as it directly affects the welfare of his children and portrays him as an irresponsible parent. In recent years, Brown's social media presence has become increasingly controversial, with posts that often seem designed to provoke outrage or attack others. These online behaviors, while not directly legal issues themselves, have further damaged his reputation and occasionally veered into territory that could potentially lead to legal consequences. In January 2025, Brown made a vulgar comment about Fox Sports host Joy Taylor amid a lawsuit involving her network. Around the same time, he also targeted former ESPN host Jemele Hill with a crude remark, escalating a feud unrelated to the Fox Sports lawsuit. These types of posts, directed at media figures who have covered his controversies, show a pattern of lashing out at critics through inappropriate and often sexist language. In 2024, Brown used a racial slur to describe Notre Dame player Charles Dew, prompting backlash but no reported legal action. This incident further isolated Brown from potential allies in the sports world and reinforced perceptions of him as unpredictable and offensive. Beyond specific incidents, Brown has used social media to make cryptic claims about former associates and to defend his increasingly erratic behavior. He has suggested at times that his actions may be linked to chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, from repeated brain injuries, though no formal diagnosis has been confirmed. While these claims have been referenced in discussions of his legal troubles, they have not directly impacted any legal outcomes and remain speculative in the absence of medical confirmation. As of May 2025, Antonio Brown's legal situation is characterized by ongoing civil matters rather than criminal charges. His most pressing legal issue is the bankruptcy case, which hangs in the balance due to alleged non-compliance and accusations of dishonesty with the court. The potential conversion from Chapter 11 to Chapter 7, or outright dismissal of the case, would have significant implications for his financial future. The child support dispute with Sidney Moreau has not yet resulted in formal legal action based on available information, but represents a continuing area of potential legal jeopardy given Brown's history of non-payment and the public nature of their disagreement. Unlike previous years, 2025 has not seen new criminal charges or arrests against Brown based on available information. His prior legal troubles, such as the 2020 felony burglary with battery charge and 2023 child support warrants, remain relevant context but are not active criminal matters in 2025. However, the pattern of behavior that led to these legal issues appears to be continuing, with Brown seemingly unable or unwilling to comply with court requirements, meet financial obligations, or moderate his public behavior in ways that might help rebuild his reputation or resolve his legal troubles. Let's broaden our perspective to examine other NFL icons who, like Brown, saw promising careers derailed by legal troubles and poor decisions. These comparative cases may offer additional insight into the patterns and consequences of self-destructive behavior among elite athletes and what, if anything, could be done to prevent similar outcomes in the future. NFL icons who ruined their careers, patterns, and lessons. When discussing NFL careers ruined by legal troubles, the story of O.J. Simpson stands as perhaps the most dramatic and far-reaching example. Before his legal issues, Simpson was the epitome of success both on and off the field. As a Hall of Fame running back for the Buffalo Bills, Simpson was a genuine football icon. He was the first NFL player to rush for over 2,000 yards in a single season, 1973, earned 6 Pro Bowl selections, 5 All-Pro honors, and the 1973 NFL MVP award. His athletic accomplishments made him a household name, but it was his charisma and crossover appeal that made him a true cultural icon. After retirement, Simpson successfully transitioned to acting and broadcasting, appearing in films like the Naked Gun series and serving as a commentator and commercial pitchman. However, Simpson's legacy was forever altered in 1994 when he was arrested for the murders of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and Ron Goldman. The subsequent trial, dubbed the Trial of the Century, captivated the nation and ended with his controversial acquittal in 1995. Despite avoiding criminal conviction, Simpson was found liable for wrongful death in a 1997 civil trial, which ordered him to pay $33.5 million to the victims' families. Simpson's legal troubles didn't end there. In 2007, he was convicted of armed robbery and kidnapping in Las Vegas, leading to a 9-year prison sentence before his parole in 2017. While Simpson had retired from the NFL long before his legal issues began, his case represents the complete destruction of a legacy that once seemed untouchable. From beloved sports hero to social pariah, Simpson's fall was total and irreversible. Even after his death from cancer in 2024, his name remains synonymous with controversy rather than his athletic achievements. Michael Vick's case offers an interesting contrast to both Simpson and Brown, as it includes elements of both catastrophic downfall and partial redemption. As a quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, Vick revolutionized the position with his unprecedented dual-threat ability. He was the first quarterback to rush for 1,000 yards in a season, 2006, earned 3 Pro Bowl selections with Atlanta, and signed a then-record 10-year $130 million contract extension in 2004. Vick's career was derailed in 2007 when he was implicated in a dogfighting ring operated from his Virginia property, Bad News Kennels. The details of animal cruelty that emerged shocked the public and led to immediate outrage. Vick pleaded guilty to federal felony charges of conspiracy to engage in dogfighting, receiving a 23-month prison sentence. The NFL suspended him indefinitely. The Falcons released him, and he lost millions in endorsements and salary, eventually declaring bankruptcy. What distinguishes Vick's story from many others is what happened after his release from prison in 2009. Unlike Simpson or Brown, Vick managed a significant comeback, signing with the Philadelphia Eagles and eventually reclaiming a starting quarterback role. He earned a Pro Bowl selection in 2010 and the NFL Comeback Player of the Year award, demonstrating both his enduring talent and the possibility of redemption after serious legal troubles. While Vick never fully regained his pre-conviction status or completed what might have been a Hall of Fame career, he successfully rebuilt enough of his reputation to continue in the NFL and later transition to a broadcasting career with Fox Sports. His willingness to acknowledge his wrongdoing, express remorse, and advocate for animal welfare played crucial roles in his partial rehabilitation in the public public eye, elements that have been notably absent in Brown's response to his own legal issues. Ray Rice's case demonstrates how quickly a thriving career can end due to a single incident of violent behavior. As a running back for the Baltimore Ravens, Rice was a three-time Pro Bowler and a key part of the 2012 Super Bowl winning team. He ranks second in Ravens history for rushing yards, 6,180, and had a standout 2011 season with 1,364 yards and 12 touchdowns. Rice's career effectively ended in 2014 when video footage emerged showing him assaulting his then-fiancée, now wife, Johnny Palmer, in a casino elevator. The NFL initially suspended Rice for just 2 games, but when TMZ released raw footage of the assault, public outrage led to an indefinite suspension and his release by the Ravens. While Rice successfully appealed his NFL suspension, no team was willing to sign him, bringing his career to an abrupt end at age 27. The Rice incident had broader implications beyond his individual career, as it sparked widespread criticism of the NFL's handling of domestic violence cases, eventually leading to policy changes. The case demonstrated the growing power of video evidence and social media in shaping public reaction to athlete misconduct, a factor that would also affect Antonio Brown years later when videos of his on-field meltdown went viral. Like Vic, Rice has attempted to rehabilitate his image through advocacy work, focusing on domestic violence awareness. Unlike Brown, who has often responded to controversies with defiance or deflection, Rice has publicly acknowledged his wrongdoing and worked to make amends, though this has not been enough to revive his NFL career. Perhaps the darkest case of talent squandered through criminal behavior is that of Aaron Hernandez. As a tight end for the New England Patriots, Hernandez formed a formidable duo with Rob Gronkowski and helped the Patriots reach Super Bowl XLVX. In 2011, he had 79 receptions for 910 yards and 7 touchdowns, showing the potential for a stellar career. Hernandez's downfall began in 2013 when he was arrested and charged with the first-degree murder of Odin Lloyd, a semi-professional football player who was dating the sister of Hernandez's fiancée. The Patriots immediately released Hernandez, and in 2015, he was convicted and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He was also indicted for a 2012 double murder but was acquitted of those charges in 2017. What makes Hernandez's case particularly tragic is its conclusion. In 2017, just days after his acquittal in the double murder case, Hernandez committed suicide in his prison cell. Posthumous examination of his brain revealed that he suffered from an advanced case of chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, raising questions about the relationship between repeated brain trauma in football and violent or impulsive behavior. The Hernandez case stands as a stark reminder of how quickly a promising career can unravel due to criminal behavior, and it raises uncomfortable questions about factors that may contribute to violence and poor decision-making among football players, including brain injuries, past trauma, and substance abuse. The story of Antonio Brown's legal troubles and their impact on his once promising career reflects a troubling pattern seen in other NFL icons who have fallen from grace. From the furniture-throwing incident in 2018 to his ongoing bankruptcy proceedings and child support disputes in 2025, Brown's journey from superstar to cautionary tale illustrates how quickly success can unravel through a combination of poor decisions, legal issues, and inability to change destructive patterns. What makes Brown's case particularly striking is the recency and ongoing nature of his downfall. Unlike historical examples like O.J. Simpson or completed narratives like Aaron Hernandez, Brown's story continues to unfold, with new chapters being written through bankruptcy hearings, social media controversies, and public disputes. This provides a real-time window into how legal troubles can cascade and compound when not addressed effectively. The similar trajectories of other fallen NFL stars suggest that Brown's case is not merely an anomaly, but part of a recognizable pattern affecting some elite athletes. These patterns raise important questions about the pressures of fame, the challenges of sudden wealth, the potential impact of brain injuries, and the role of enablers in an athlete's entourage. For the NFL and other professional sports leagues, these cases highlight the need for more comprehensive support systems, from financial education and mental health resources to clearer consequences for misconduct and better transition planning for post-career life. For current and aspiring athletes, they serve as powerful reminders that athletic talent alone cannot insulate one from the consequences of illegal or harmful behavior. As we've explored throughout this video, the spectacular rise and catastrophic fall of Antonio Brown and other NFL icons represent more than just individual tragedies. They reflect broader challenges in professional sports and offer important lessons about success, responsibility, and the fragility of even the most promising careers when legal and personal issues are allowed to spiral out of control. Thank you for watching. Check out other cards on the screen.